Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Annie Nova. Today I am back with a video that I have been getting so many requests for just in my DMs and in my comment sections, so I thought I might as well make like a super broad video. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I have recently moved into a new apartment. I literally don't go outside anymore. I just spend it here. So I have lived in, I believe, 8 different apartments. So I would consider myself a bit of a veteran, quote unquote, when it comes to like being an expat and looking for apartments in Seoul. I got a lot of questions. So just a quick refresher for those of you who haven't seen my previous content about my apartment. Genuinely all I post about these days is my apartment. It's just my personality trait now. This apartment at the moment now, due to the US dollar being really strong, is costing me $780 a month. Key deposit, the key money, aka the deposit, was 2 million won, which I believe is around $1,500. The way that I used to find my apartments was I would actually go find a realtor. So back then I kind of knew what neighborhood I wanted to live in. At one point I lived in Itaewon, at one point I lived in Jamsil, at one point I've lived everywhere in Seoul on both sides of the river. So each time I would go to a realtor who specialized in that type of area. So the thing is, if you go to a realtor, you will only be shown apartments that they have on their books, if that makes sense. So for example, when I went to my realtor, he didn't have this apartment on their books. I covered this in my other video, but basically what ended up happening to me was I used a realtor that I had used for my previous apartment, and he specialized in the Gangnam area. Now, he showed me a frankly really ugly apartment, and I was like, I don't like it. So I actually ended up going online, finding this apartment, messaged my Gangnam realtor, and I was like, hey, can you like hook me up with this apartment? Here's the link. Can you call and arrange a viewing? He then lied to me and said, oh yeah, I called and the apartment's already gone. But then later on, I called myself and they were like, yeah, come view this apartment, and like I signed it the same day I came to view it. But basically what I realized was a realtor is only going to show you an apartment where they are going to get a fee from you. For this apartment, he either wouldn't have received commission or he would have had to share commission with another person, which is why he didn't want me to view this place. From my personal experience now, I would definitely say to any friend looking for a place to just look for it yourself. So the way that I found my current apartment and the place that I would recommend you look for an apartment is online. Now, I at first thought it was super daunting to look on these Korean websites, but once you actually get onto it and figure it out, it's not that difficult. Plus, if you have Google Chrome, you can just use the translator and it makes it so much easier. So what I did was I knew that I didn't really care about the neighborhood. I didn't really care, you know, where exactly it was, as long as it was quote unquote central. I knew where I didn't want to live anymore. I knew that I wanted to live where, you know, the hotspots like Hongdae, Itaewon, Gangnam were all accessible and within like half an hour. So I looked on Naver Pudongsan, and when you go on there, you see a map. You type in your specifics, so your budget, the type of apartment you would like, and then it just shows you all of the available houses on a map. So then you just start clicking. Some of them don't have photos. I just looked up the ones that did have photos. So then you click and find the apartment that catches your eye. And at the very bottom, it says the realtor's phone number. I'm not confident in speaking Korean on the phone, so literally I just Kakao'd them. And again, you can use a translator app and just message them on Kakao and be like, hey, can I do a viewing? And that's exactly what I did with this apartment, and literally I went to go see it and it was beautiful and I got it. So earlier I mentioned apartment type. There's actually different types of apartments, which still kind of confuses me, but I'm gonna break down the most common ones. So number one, we have villas. I used to live in a villa as well. In a villa, typically you have the landlord living in the same building as you. So if you ever need them, or you know, need something fixing, you literally just walk upstairs and talk to them. Those tend to be like 4-5 stories tall. They tend to be in residential areas. I will say villas tend to not have a lot of light because they're very low. So if you're someone like me who needs windows that have a view, that let in sunlight, villas might not be the right choice for you. Then we also have basement apartments. If you've seen Parasite, you know what type of apartment I'm talking about. Now, I have also lived in a basement apartment. Also has its drawbacks. Its biggest pull was the price. I had a roommate at the time, Anna, hello if you're watching, and it was a 3-bedroom or 2.5. No, it was a 3-bedroom. It was a 3-bedroom, but the smallest room we just used as a closet. And it only cost 750,000 won for a 3-bedroom. It was in a residential area. It was one stop away from Itaewon. So that was back in the day when I was out in Itaewon all the time. All I had to do is walk home instead of trying to get a taxi. If you know, you know. It's horrible trying to get home after a night out. So like I said, the price is a huge pull. With basement apartments, you do tend to not get a lot of sunlight. If you don't mind, and if you just are looking for something cheap, that's definitely something to consider. In the summer though, you might have issues with bugs because obviously it's super easy for them to come in, and humidity is also quite a big problem in the basement apartments. Luckily we did have windows, so we were able to open our windows, but a lot of basement apartments don't even have windows. Like a lot of them are actually like completely windowless, or you have like a tiny little window that opens up into the street or a car park or something. But if you're looking for the cheap and cheerful route, then a basement apartment is great. And the third most common, in my opinion, type of apartment here is an officetel. And officetels are designed to be self-containing. So a lot of people in my building live here, but there's also offices, hence the name. So the way that Korea works is everything is super efficient. You could be living on, I don't know, the 10th floor of your officetel and then go downstairs and work on the 2nd floor because that's where your office is. My building has a lot of couples, but I'm sure it also has a lot of businesses operating from this building. For me, this is like the ideal because officetels tend to be higher up. I get great window space. My particular floor, I'm pretty sure most, if not all, are offices because I genuinely don't hear anyone at nighttime. I've lived in other places where people would have friends come over and everything would be loud, but genuinely I'm the loud one now. I'm the loud neighbor, you know? So I get my peace and quiet. I have my windows, I have my light. Everything is super automated, so you can only get into the building if you have a passcode. I hope this quick little video helped you out. My closing statement will be, I have been getting a lot of questions of people asking me to recommend certain real estate agents, but genuinely, I don't think you need one. The apartment should be at the forefront, not the real estate agent, if that makes sense. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, put them down below. I'll try and answer them. Maybe someone else will have the answer as well. And yeah, let's share tips. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.